Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Welcome back into Main Street Sports today on a Tuesday edition. It is Chris Yow back before your very eyes. Mo, thanks for holding down the fort yesterday. Justin, thank you for helping hold down the fort yesterday. Appreciate you guys. The kids are getting better.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
That's the important thing. So yeah.
One of them is really good. The other one's still struggling, but we're getting there. We'll put it that way. And I'm having to keep.
That's going to be the case quite often over the next 18 years or so.
Well, so I mean, at least at some point they're semi-self-sufficient. Right now, that's not necessarily the case.
It does help when they can talk.
So, and I can say, "Hey, blow your nose," and they will, instead of literally
maybe
one in a straitjacket.
Not necessarily.
You're like, well, they don't always listen.
Don't let me be the one to bust your bubble, though, man.
I wish someone would bust the snot bubbles that are in Charlie's nose, but that's neither here nor there. We'll get there, and RSV is no joke, and it's running rampant right now across the country. So,
y'all be safe.
Yes. Justin, just as an FYI, we may want to let someone know that the show running today is yesterday's show on our live stream. But if you are watching us on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, any of those things, we appreciate it. We will get this show on our live stream on Main Street Media TV here shortly. We do have a great show though, Mo. This is a pretty great day for Main Street today, because we are going to bring in, of course, Chip Walters. So Tuesdays are always great because we get Chip and we talk about Middle Tennessee State, which is always fantastic. But in just a few minutes, we will talk to MARCEL Reed, Montgomery Bell Academy quarterback, about his decommitment from Ole Miss and commitment to Texas A&M. And that happened yesterday. So as far as I know, Mo, we may be the first people to talk to him.
I believe we are the first people to talk to him, actually, to hear him discuss the decisions that he made yesterday evening, or that he announced yesterday evening. I think we're the first. If we're not, we are pretty high
early.
Up. Yeah.
So. Yeah, we're early in the game. So if you are a Texas A&M fan, or an Ole Miss fan for that matter, you want to hear hear some
Yeah.
reasoning, we can help you out with
Mm.
that. Marcel Reed will join us here at 2:20. We'll also talk a little bit about the Braves college football bowl season, and it's Top 5 Tuesday. And in the spirit of Christmas, we'll talk a little stocking stuffers. So what are the top 5 stocking stuffers you've ever gotten? Well, we'll find out what today holds. Hopefully I'll get at least one vote next week. I did not get a single vote last week.
Yeah, I
Who
didn't
won
get
last
that
week?
either.
You did, Mo.
Of course.
Mo won with 57% of the vote. He won. He got 5 votes to I'm sorry, he got 4 votes to Justin's 3 votes.
Oh, edged me out. edged
Low,
me out.
low vote count. Low vote
It
count.
was an overwhelming decision.
Yeah, Mo knew that he won. He just wanted us to say it.
That's right.
Actually, I didn't. I mean, I thought I had a pretty good draft, but I didn't know. So, yeah.
Well, you did, and it was a good draft. So we've got all of that coming your way here in just a few minutes, and I'm looking forward to that. So, and thank you guys again for bearing with me yesterday. Glad to be back today, and we're going to get into it. Before we do anything else, of course, we have to give you yesterday's and some of today's results, and we do that on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Girls basketball action, girls high school basketball action from Monday. It was Good Pasture 52, White House Heritage 44. Baylor defeated East Nashville 51-39. Harpeth Hall with a 58-48 win. Rossview defeated Brentwood Academy 40-37. Zion Christian Academy defeated Dixon Christian Academy 65-22. Gallatin with a 50-34 win over Sycamore. Good Pasture, I read that one once. Hendersonville 52, Springfield 26. Blackman defeated Hillsboro 64-18. Green Hill downed Independence 55-41. Clarksville with a 71-39 win over Liberty Creek. It was Cheatham County 57, Mount Juliet 46. Middle Tennessee Christian with a 66-59 win over Ravenwood. Stewart's Creek defeated Page 51-30, and University School of Jackson defeated Loretto 49-42.
In boys basketball action, it was Beach 67, Arlington 38, Riverdale down to Cascade 59-56. Clarksville Academy took care of Samackadori High, home of the Great Bo Jackson, 68-46. It was Davidson Academy 68-49 over Westmoreland. Zion Christian 63-55 over Dixon Academy. Stewart's Creek 79-34 over East Hickman. It was East Nashville 78, Warren County 31. Innsworth down Trezevant 45-29. Franklin down to Bearden by a single point, 55-54. Gallatin 72, Clarksville 31, Hendersonville 60-52 winners over Springfield. It was Hillsboro over Mount Pisgah Christian of Georgia 71-69, and Independence down Green Hill 58-45. Lawrence County with a pair of wins yesterday over Phillips of Bear Creek, Alabama 91-41, and a little controversially over Columbia Central 74-73.
I think you're being a little generous. Liberty Creek with a 66-61 win over Russellville, Kentucky. Lipscomb Academy with a 70-42 win over Greenville. Battleground Academy defeated Loretto 61-41. Mount Juliet 63. DeKalb County 59. Page 59, Creekwood 44. Hunters Lane with a 51-48 win over Portland. Murfreesboro Central defeated Richland 61-49. Rockvale 61, Tennessee Heat 48. Siegel with a 61-33 win over Forest. Christ Presbyterian Academy 77, Smyrna 43. Station Camp with a 53-44 win over Ravenwood. Joe Burns defeated White House 79-67. White House Heritage defeated Hume Fogg 58-50. And Ezel Harding with a 51-45 win over Whites Creek.
Women's basketball action yesterday, Ashland defeated Trevecca 83-50 and Lipscomb down to Tennessee Wesleyan 89-45. Today, just moments ago, finishing up, Middle Tennessee State downs Rice 74-68 in a random Conference USA game. Men's basketball yesterday, Ashland defeated Trevecca 82-42. In NCAA football, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Marshall doubles up UConn 28-14, and the Preds finally get a win. Edmonton goes down in overtime 4-3 to the Predators.
Girls basketball today, we have one final. East Nashville defeated Bradford 60-32. In progress, 1 o'clock tip. Stewart County is at East Robertson. 2 o'clock over at Nolensville. So they just got started. Summertown and Summit. At 2:30, Wren of South Carolina is playing Station Camp. At 4 o'clock, Oakland is playing Bartlett. Also in progress from a 1:15 start, Cannon County and Brentwood. At 3 o'clock, Independence plays at Centennial. That is a doubleheader, girls first. But let's see, 4 o'clock, White House Heritage plays Liberty Creek. Westmoreland plays Rossview. 4:15 in Lebanon, Ezel Harding plays Columbia Central. At 4:30, Sycamore plays Hendersonville. Also at 4:30, Dyersburg takes on Loretto. And at 5 o'clock, University School of Nashville is at Friendship Christian.
Also, girls basketball action today at 5 o'clock. Lawrence County takes on Bob Jones of Madison, Alabama. Pope Prep is taking on Cheatham County at 6. Also at 6, Santa Fe is at Eagleville. Is that a doubleheader, Mo? I believe it is.
I believe it is, yeah.
Giles County is at Fayetteville at 6. Watertown's at Gordonsville. Harpeth is at Houston County. Kenwood hosting Clarksville Academy. McGavick's at Laverne. Stewart's Creek at Lipscomb Academy. Knoxville Webb takes on Siegel at 6:30. Also at 6:30 is Ensworth and Sullivan East. At 7 o'clock tonight, Clarksville at White House. Ramsey of Alabama is at Lebanon at 7. Joe Burns takes on Good Pasture, and Springfield is at Gallatin at 7:30.
Boys basketball action. We got a few finals from today. Loretto with a 57-34 win over James Clements out of Alabama. Newcastle, Pennsylvania 60, Tennessee High 42. Why are we reading this, Chris?
I'm sorry.
Columbia Central snaps a long losing
That's
streak.
a good question. I don't know why that's in there, but it was.
Yeah, well, Columbia Central downs Hartsville, Alabama 48-44. I think they had lost 9 straight going into that one, so congratulations to the Lions. Spring Hill played at Hancock County, Kentucky. That was an 11 o'clock start, so it's probably over, but we don't have a score. 11:30, Rockvale was taking on Webb School. At 12 noon, Wolfson of Florida out of Jacksonville taking on Friendship Christian. At 1, Middle Tennessee Christian and Pearl Cone. At 1:30, Smyrna is at Portland. 2 o'clock, Battleground Academy is playing Lincoln County. 2:30 starts York Institute and East Nashville, Stewart County and East Robertson. That's at East Robertson. And Russellville is at White House.
Christmas tournaments get us. Mm-hmm. We're not exactly sure where a lot of these games are being played. That Tennessee game may have been played at a Middle Tennessee tournament. We just don't know. At 3 o'clock today, Clarksville and Hendersonville will play. East Hickman takes on Whites Creek at 3:20. At 3:30, it's Summertown and Summit. Where's that one at? Do we know?
It's at Nolensville.
There you go. See, I knew you would know that. Upperman and Siegel at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, Independence is at Centennial, as we said earlier. Station Camp takes on Davidson Academy at 4:30. Phillips of Alabama, Bear Creek takes on Richland at 4:40. Spring Hill gets Graves County, Kentucky at 5:30. And Pope Prep takes on Oakland at 5:30 as well. At 6 o'clock at Springfield at Gallatin. Also at 6 o'clock, it's Stewart's Creek and Ezel Harding. Providence Christian goes to McCauley. Forest is at Nolensville at 6:30, and Christian County, Kentucky at 7 o'clock against Montgomery Bell Academy.
That's interesting.
Because
MBA and Rockvale play at 7:30, so I guess they're going to make quick work of Christian County. Murfreesboro Central is at Lawrence County at 7:20. Again, Rockvale and MBA play at 7:30. Also at 7:30, Page is at Hillwood. Harpeth is at Houston County. Clarksville Academy is at Kenwood. McGavick is at Laverne. Giles County is at Fayetteville. Watertown is at Gordonsville. Harriman is at Blackman. And Santa Fe is at Eagleville. Answering your question from earlier, Chris. Yes, that is a doubleheader. Also, Bullitt East out of Kentucky is at Lipscomb Academy. 8:30 starts. Cookville at Beach. Brainerd at Lebanon. Whitefield Academy out of Kentucky plays Nashville Christian. And at a time unknown, Tresvant plays Cane Ridge.
In women's basketball action currently, I just gave you the MTSU Rice score. Currently, Troy in the second quarter leads Belmont 32-28, about midway through the second quarter there on ESPN Plus if you want to watch it. Men's basketball today, Brescia is at Tennessee State. That game tipped off moments ago. You can see it on ESPN Plus, and Lipscomb is at Louisville at 5 o'clock tonight. That game will also be on ESPN Plus. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl in football tonight. Eastern Michigan, San Jose State, or that's this afternoon in just a few minutes. As a matter of fact, 2:30 kick on ESPN. The RoofClaim.com Boca Raton Bowl, Liberty and Toledo. That's a 6:30 kick on ESPN. And the Grizzlies will be on national television tonight against the New Gays, the Nuggets, at 9 o'clock on TNT. And that is your rundown.
Hopefully, Jock can stick around for the entirety of that one.
Well, as long as there's not any fans of his in the crowd and he gets kicked out for talking to him. That's so random.
It's not random. It's just bad.
I don't know how. I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a weird situation, but officials not having a great week.
Well, here's the thing. Now, I would say that the officials on the Thunder Grizzlies game would not have had the issue that you are referencing.
No, they wouldn't have. But Columbia Central and Lawrence County, as I mentioned in the rundown, had a semi-controversial ending.
It was a lot less controversial than it could have been, and I credit Ken Cutlip for that.
Yeah, if I were Ken Cutlip's Columbia Central,
I'd have been standing on a score
coach.
table.
Yeah, you would not have been able to get me off
to play the
field,
next game.
Yeah, no, to get me off the court without replaying it or something. But we tell you what we're mentioning here is Lawrence County Columbia Central played at 10:30 yesterday in the Lawrence County Christmas tournament. It was and I believe this was Lawrence County's varsity.
I believe so.
I know they played 2 games yesterday, so I don't know how that worked out, but I'm really hoping that Lawrence County and Lawrence County have to play for the title. That'd be hilarious.
Surely they're not in. Surely Lawrence County's varsity just played twice. I mean, I don't know.
They did.
I don't know.
They did. I'm just saying, like, if they won both games and then
advanced
and they did, and they advanced to the championship, a split squad for the title would be hilarious. Nonetheless, Columbia Central makes a bucket with a little bit less than 1 second on the clock. I guess Cutlip called timeout because the clocks shouldn't stop on a made bucket unless a timeout is called. So I'm assuming that Columbia Central makes a bucket to make it 74-73. Cutlip calls timeout. They grant him the timeout. They were supposed to put a half a second back on the clock.
But here's the thing, though. I don't know if Cutlip called timeout or not, though, Chris, because they were inbounding at half court. Lawrence County was.
No. They inbounded it. They threw a baseball pass to the other side. Yeah, so they were on Columbia Central's end line and threw a baseball pass to the other end. It gets tipped into a Columbia Central player's hands. He dribbles, shoots, scores from 3/4 length court from the other free throw line. And instead of putting 0.5 seconds on the clock, they put 5 seconds on the clock. The ball goes in with 3 seconds left on the clock. So obviously he didn't get it off in half a second, but there's no replay in high school basketball. So to me, you got to go with what's on the clock. And oh, I can hear the audio.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. Shut up. Never mind.
And so long story short, Columbia Central makes a 3/4 length shot to what?
Yeah, basically from the far
game.
free throw line. Yeah, that should have won the ball game. Obviously, it's a 3-pointer with a 1-point lead for Lawrence County. But
officials waved it off, said that he didn't get the shot off in time if there had been only 0.5 seconds on the clock. I don't know how you can know that for sure without replay, but hey, who are we and what do we know?
A lot of that going around.
I only had to give out 1 technical foul on Saturday.
You know, I have yet to give one in my basketball officiating foray. So I don't know if I'm running behind or what, or maybe folks just don't try me.
I have a question about that. I'm sorry to chime in here to
Go
interrupt.
for it.
No. Come on.
What was that? What was that T? I would love to hear the story about that. there, Chris?
Well, listen, I referee 18-year-olds. Okay, just to throw that out there.
They're rowdy. They're rowdy.
They can be. We had one team who was absolutely getting drubbed. I mean, getting their brains beat in. Like 40, it was like 40-10.
Right.
Kid drives to the middle of the lane and just out of control throws up the shot. Well, I called traveling because he did travel. And he wanted a foul. Well, there wasn't really a whole lot of contact. He just was out of control and lost his footing and traveled and then threw the shot up hoping to get a call. So as I make the call, he says, he says out loud, where's the foul? And I was like, I just kind of let it go. Well, as I'm walking back down the court, he walks next to me and goes, "What are you, blind?"
Oh, no.
Okay.
And I said,
that's a quick way to get out of it.
I can see this technical.
What I can see is the other team shooting 2 foul shots and getting the ball.
And getting the ball. Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed on his, like, he had time to think about it, and that's what he used. That's just an old one.
No, it wasn't even good. If it had been a good zinger, I would have laughed and just gone with it, but it was just not good.
Man, that's funny. Well, thank you for sharing.
So that's the tea on the tech. I get. It's the only one I've had to give out this year in 3 weekends, which is a record for me.
Well, it might be that I'm calling 9 and 10s. That
doesn't help.
I've not had any issues.
Now, I did have to throw out a 10U boys coach out of the gym 2 years ago from Grassland.
Wow.
Grassland, huh?
There you go.
I won't ask.
I thought you were going to say a 10-year-old boy that you threw out.
No, the coach. He was, I mean, I didn't technically throw him out. I gave him the first technical and I just got away from him. My partner ended up giving him the second one. And I mean, I basically told the supervisor, I was like, I wasn't going to give it to him, but he deserved it. I wasn't going to be the one. I was going to make someone else throw him out. And
someone else who, what are y'all working 3-man crews? I mean, it wasn't going to be but one other person.
I didn't know if the supervisor might just come get him.
There's a bouncer there, just like hiding in the shadows.
Well, there is. There's a supervisor who basically takes care of that sort of thing. And we're lucky to have that. So anyway, we need to take a break. Because it looks like we've got MARCEL Reed on the line. He's going to join us here in just a moment. So you guys stick around. MARCEL Reed, Montgomery Bell Academy quarterback, coming your way right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yow alongside Mo Patton here on this Tuesday edition. So glad to be with you here, and it is time now to speak with Mr. Football.
Yeah.
He's D2 3A's Mr. Football, Montgomery Pell Academy quarterback, and recent commit to Texas A&M University, MARCEL Reed. MARCEL, thanks for joining us, buddy. He's muted.
Marcel, I believe you're muted on your side.
We are. Again, MARCEL Reed decommitted from Ole Miss yesterday, or I'm not sure when he decommitted, Mo, but I guess it was yesterday.
I think it was yesterday, yeah.
Sent out a tweet from that Preds game. He must be the good luck charm, by the way.
Hey, whatever works, man. Get him back down there. Yeah.
Sent out a tweet from the Preds game that he would be committing to Texas A&M.
Man, a few words.
Yeah.
Sent out a graphic that said gig 'em.
I like that too. Hey, look, straight to the point.
Yep.
Straight to the point.
And everybody knew what it meant. So there you go.
And we are efforting to get him unmuted right now. And there looks like, there he's got his video up now. This is good. MARCEL is there. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is a solid backdrop there, MARCEL. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that 98 over his left shoulder is former TSU standout Anthony Pleasant. So that's good stuff there. Were he and your dad teammates, MARCEL?
No clue at all.
No clue. Gotcha. Can we do something with his volume, Justin?
I'm adjusting it a little bit.
Okay.
So it should get better. Yeah.
Okay. MARCEL, congratulations first off on the commitment to Texas A&M, and kind of happened pretty quickly as far as social media goes. I mean, you decommitted yesterday from Ole Miss and you committed to A&M just within hours of each other. Kind of take us through the process that got you from Oxford to College Station.
I just fell in love with College Station. Coach Fisher and Coach Craig, what they're doing over there, I think they're going to have a very impactful season next year. And it's a very young team. A lot of people don't understand that, and it's close to family out there. My dad's from Texas, so I think it's just a good fit for me.
And also a former TSU coach, Kevin Mashak, is on the coaching staff out at A&M. Did that help?
Well, it helped a little bit knowing that he's on the staff over there. It's like I've known him my whole life, and it's like a second father or mentor for me. So that's going to be good for me up there.
I will tell you, MARCEL, this breaks my heart in a little way because I was really looking forward to that Chris Parson, MARCEL Reed Egg Bowl. But the fact is that this is a great move for you. I mean, this is a team that gives you an opportunity to probably play pretty quickly based off of what we've seen out of their quarterback room. Do you feel like that's an opportunity to give that you can give yourself a chance to get on the field pretty quick at Texas A&M?
Yeah, it might be an opportunity. I'm just looking into going, learning the playbook and competing, and whatever happens. They have a freshman quarterback in there right now, Connor Wigman, and he's pretty good. So I'm looking to, probably be under him for the first year, learn some things, and then, like I said, whatever happens on the next year.
I gotta ask, Marcel, because situations like this for so many people, it's a zero-sum game. This is great for Texas A&M. This is awful for Ole Miss. What was your feeling? What were your feelings regarding Ole Miss as you came closer to tomorrow's start of the December signing period?
Nothing really happened that fell off. I think Texas A&M has always been a top contender in my recruitment, and before I committed to Ole Miss, they had a commit already who ended up decommitting, and they just started picking up recruiting me recently, and they did a really good job with the little time that they had. They impressed me a lot, and like I said, nothing really fell off Ole Miss wise in recruiting, but I think that Texas A&M just put their best foot forward, and I really loved it. And like I said, it's just probably the best option for me.
Marcel Reed, 4-year starting quarterback at Montgomery Bell Academy, 2022 Division II AAA, Mr. Football and Texas A&M commitment, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Marcel, noticed on your Twitter account that you had also had some contact with Auburn and Coach Hugh Freeze and his staff coming down the stretch here. Where were they in the mix for you?
Auburn they were kind of in there. I never really got the offer from Auburn. So I got a text or call from Coach Freeze, and we had some conversations, went up there, had an official visit, and I think they were still on a guy that they had while they were at Liberty, and they weren't sure just because I guess they'd never seen me camp there, or at Liberty. Coach could never see me throw in person, so I think he was skeptical about pulling the trigger on me. But I mean, Auburn was up there. If they would have given the offer, it would have been a hard decision for me to make.
Well, and ironically, recruited by former Auburn quarterback Damian Craig, who is the wide receivers coach at Texas A&M. So that had to be a fun trip or a fun recruiting visit with a guy like him, who's played in the SEC and probably gives you plenty of knowledge as to what goes into having, to be a quarterback in this league. Yes, sir.
He's he talked to me about Auburn also when I was up there. I mean, he knows about it. He's played there, and he's like, man, if you go there, you got records to break. I'm not talking about Cam Newton, not talking about any other quarterback. My records, I got the records up there. I was like, yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to do, but I felt comfortable making the decision going to A&M just to be under his wing.
Marcel, Chris kind of spoke to it a little bit. Pretty tumultuous season this past year out at A&M, and Jimbo Fisher caught a lot of heat from a lot of different directions this past season. I mean, what impact did the 2022 season have on you in making your decision?
Didn't have too much of an impact. A lot of people don't understand, like I said, that it's a young team, and many of their games were very close to some really good teams. I mean, the SEC is hard to play in no matter what. You saw a lot of teams this year that you would expect to have really good records that were, down and up. So, I mean, you can't really make that argument in my opinion. And I think that 2022 class is great, and they're going to improve. They're going to get bigger, stronger, and better. And then adding this 2023 class is going to make that team even better. And, I mean, it just comes down to, executing, finishing. Coach Fisher said that a lot. And, they showed late in the season against LSU how to finish. They had a really good game against them. So didn't really play too much in my recruitment. I'm really worried about, my development and the team's success. Obviously, when I get there, I can't really control what happened in the season before. So it's just about, me going in, doing my job, and trying to get the team some wins, and just, learning from Coach Fisher and Coach Craig, and, being a student of the game.
Marcel, how do you feel like 4 years starting at MBA, starting for Marty Uverard, playing in the ultra competitive Division II AAA in this state? How do you feel like that prepares you for going to Texas A&M and competing in that quarterback room?
I think it prepares me a lot. I think I've grown a lot as a player. I was blessed enough to be a freshman that was playing on the field, just growing through experience and learning the game and the speed of the game, trying to catch up with it. It's helped a lot. And I think it's also helped just because, that league that we're in, I'm not going to compare it to the SEC, but it's a lot like it just team-wise, you never know what can happen. Every team is good. There can be a win. There can be a loss. It's going to be a fight every week, and that's what I'm going to expect when I get into college too. So I think Coach Uverard has done a great job with me since my freshman year, and I'm really appreciative for him. I think that high school football has done me well, and I'm just ready to start this next journey.
I remember when you were a baseball guy, you're still a basketball guy as well. How obviously you can't argue with the decision, but how did you come to the decision to focus on football?
It was honestly about time. I mean, I just don't think I had the time to play basketball and baseball in the summer. I really love football, just being with my guys in the summer on morning workouts and then playing that fall season with them. I enjoyed it a lot, so I think I had to put baseball and basketball aside just to make time for football, and it was a good choice for me, honestly. It paid off, so just happy I made it.
Marcel, one quick question here. Just, what when you look back at the coaching history of Jimbo Fisher, he's coached a national championship winner, a Heisman Trophy winner, Jameis Winston, and he's had a lot of great quarterbacks over the years. His experience in coaching some of the biggest quarterbacks in the history of the game, college football wise, how much of an impact did that have on you wanting to go and be a part of what he has going versus Lane Kiffin, who has also been a kind of a quarterback whisperer of sorts?
It played a big part in it. That's really what turned the tables for me. I was impressed on his record of quarterbacks and what he's done, his development. The yards passing they've had, the draft picks, having a lot of first rounders. I think that shows a lot about coach and what he can do to develop a quarterback. And I was just really intrigued by that. I was very impressed by it, and that's one thing that really led me to make that decision.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the SEC. I think it's going to be, and certainly glad that you're going to be as far away from Tennessee as possible, because we certainly don't want to see you too many times over the years, and maybe we'll see you in Atlanta a couple times. But
here's the great thing about this: the wardrobe doesn't have to change a whole lot.
That's right.
Not really. Yep. Happy about that one.
Yeah, the color scheme is solid. You just keep wearing the same gear, man. That's awesome.
Same pattern.
Well, Marcel, I don't have anything else. Mo, if you've got anything, feel free.
No, we're going to let him go on because he's got a basketball game to get ready for, making his season.
Who are y'all playing tonight, Marcel? Who do y'all play tonight?
We're playing Christian County. I think a team out of Kentucky.
They are, yes.
We're in a Riverdale Classic, I think.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Well, we had two games on the schedule, and we didn't know which one was actually the right one. So now we know, Mo.
Yes, we do. Thanks for clearing that up for us, Marcel.
Of course.
We appreciate it. We appreciate your time. Good luck tonight. And tell Kevin Anglin and Ron McMahon I said hey. And we will keep an eye on you, man. Marcel Reed, MBA 4-year starter at quarterback and newest Texas A&M commit, with us here on Main Street Sports today. Thanks, Marcel.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we've got some more college football, some Braves to talk about, and Chip Walters is coming up at 3:00, so make sure to stick around for that. So we'll be right back on Main Street Sports, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. This is Chris Yow with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mo, we'll talk a little college football here first. Bowl season is underway, and Florida got hammered.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into the bowl season, though, let's refer back just a second to the interview that we just had with Marcel Reed, because he mentioned the situation with Auburn and Hugh Freeze, and they were in on a guy that had committed to them at Liberty. Well, that guy is Lipscomb Academy quarterback Hank Brown, who did in fact commit to Auburn earlier today. There's a piece on the website, Main Street Preps, to that effect. So Middle Tennessee, the Nashville area, kind of becoming quarterback central here all of a sudden, with 2 guys here in less than 12 hours committing to SEC schools, and one of them decommitting from one. So, yeah, congratulations to Hank Brown, who also, of course, had an offer from Alabama Birmingham coach Trent Dilfer, but chose to go SEC.
Let's think about this for a second. You've got Chris Parson going to Mississippi State, Hank Brown to Auburn. Middle Tennessee will have almost half of the quarterbacks in the SEC West.
Well, and then if you go back and you talk about the Simpson kid at Alabama,
Ty Simpson at Alabama, and I mean that's pretty darn impressive. And then on top of that, you've got
who's left? Arkansas, LSU, and who am I missing?
And Ole Miss. Now,
and Ole Miss, yeah.
Who had one and lost it? You got to be quicker than that.
Yeah, almost
had it. But and then you got Junior Sherrill, who is going to go to UAB probably. I think he's got a shot to go to UAB. He could end up in the SEC though. That kid's good. So who knows, man? It's wild to me where the talent level of Middle Tennessee stands.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Sherrill, did he flip?
No, he holds an offer though.
Oh, well, he's currently committed to Vanderbilt. So,
well, and there you go. There's 4 in the SEC.
Yeah. So,
think about that. And Destin Wade could potentially be the starting quarterback at Kentucky in the next year or 2.
Could potentially be the next quarterback next Friday.
Golly. I mean, the more I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute, we might just keep going here. I don't know. I mean, it really is wild to think about, man. Oh, wow.
There's a lot of talent around here.
There is. And that just makes the argument that I had with a UAB supporter not too long ago who said there was no talent in Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
Of course, his brother's the coach at Thompson High School. And
okay. Well, I mean, here's the thing that so many people don't seem to realize. You don't have to put somebody else's candle out to make yours burn brighter. I mean, nobody has ever said that there wasn't football talent in Alabama, but that's not where all of the talent is.
He was more concerned about Trent Dilfer's hiring.
Oh, well.
And And it was interesting because this is a guy who coached at the collegiate level and recruited Middle Tennessee for a number of years. But he said, well, granted, my data is about 5 years old. And I'm like, yeah, your data is a little outdated. I mean, we've had 1 million people move into the metro area in the last 5 years. Your data is way out. But, 5 years ago, he's probably right. There wasn't a whole lot of talent in Middle Tennessee. Now
there wasn't as much talent as there is now. I
Right.
wouldn't say necessarily that there wasn't a whole lot. It's kind of
comparatively
relative.
speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
Relatively, it's just boom.
And again,
in that time frame.
you can't argue that Alabama doesn't have talent. They do. Period. End of statement.
Yeah, no, that wasn't his argument. His argument was, well, because my dad asked the question, how well is he going to recruit Middle Tennessee? And the guy said, well, hopefully he doesn't because there's not any talent there. And I took,
well, that's just stupid.
Yeah, I took great offense to that.
That's just stupid.
Because we just mentioned 5 quarterbacks who are signed with SEC schools or committed.
That's just dumb. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Right. More than anything. He just didn't know. And so I had to set him straight.
Well, I hope it worked. So.
It did, I think. He deleted his comment. We'll put it that way. So
I'd say it worked, man.
There's
mission
that.
accomplished. Yeah. All right.
Now, speaking of bowls are underway, and the SEC got off to a pretty rough start, Mo.
Well,
but
if you're going to call Florida the SEC, and I guess they are, then yeah, they did. And
okay,
that's bad.
And we've talked about, but you're talking about a top 15 9-3 Oregon State team taking on Florida, who had literally, I think, 16 of their 22 starters opt out, including their quarterback and best lineman. That's neither here nor there. My question to you is this: is bowl season an unreliable metric for strength of conference due to opt-outs?
Yeah. And I don't think you can. Yes, to answer your question, I think it is, just because the teams that are taking the field in some of these bowl games aren't necessarily the teams that were on the field from August through November.
I mean, Florida beat the Pac-12 champion, and now Oregon State folks are saying that team, we beat the SEC, that team stinks. Okay, well, they beat your champion. So I don't know what that tells you.
Well, it tells you that a lot of people, one, objectivity does not exist in fandom.
That's true.
And
shouldn't really. I mean, in fandom.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't if you don't mind making yourself look like an idiot.
I mean, if you want to have,
if you can't tell the difference if you can't tell the difference in Florida with Anthony Richardson and Florida without Anthony Richardson, then really I don't want to talk to you.
And that's the thing. I mean, if you just want to say, well, SEC must suck because we beat them. Okay, well, whatever, you're an idiot.
Okay, all right. Enjoy your day.
If you say so.
We're done.
And that's fine. You don't have to be objective, and if you're a fan. And I have a buddy who's an Oregon State fan, and I kind of give him crap, and he said, well, we've beaten the SEC so much in baseball that beating them in football is kind of a big deal. I said, yeah, it must be because the SEC ended your baseball season this year out in the Super Regional with Auburn.
On your field.
On your field.
In fact, I think Vanderbilt ended their year in the Super Regionals here recently as well. So
I'm just, they're getting, and I said, look, just take the win. Take the win. And they did. Look, this guy, he's a friend. He's just giving me a hard time more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to, you could use bowl season as a metric for how strong your conference is up against other teams. With the way bowl season has become, or with what bowl season has become, I almost feel like, Mo, that it's time to either, or maybe, and play non-conference games and or 2 Power 5 teams if you're the SEC? Or do you just keep doing what you're doing and make ESPN and the powers that be force you to prove it again?
Well, I don't know that anybody can force the SEC to do anything really, but I think, for them to play 2 Power 5s, you've got to find 2 Power 5s that will play them.
It's not easy when you're talking about
it's not like these SEC schools can just go and say, okay, you're coming to our place, we're coming to your place, and then we're going to flip it next year. They don't get to unilaterally make that decision. They have to come to an agreement with another Power 5 school, and folks ain't lining up to play these folks.
And that's the thing. I mean, and as long as the SEC is doing what it's doing nationally, even at the top, you look at what, Tennessee beating Alabama this year, LSU beating Alabama. You have to look at it as if the SEC, not having 2 teams in the college football playoff, was actually a more indicative of the depth of the conference than ever before.
Mm-hmm. Because, they were literally, as so often has been said, since the playoff started and the SEC championship came on board and that kind of thing, they're beating each other up. You saw that this year. I mean, Georgia was the only team to go through the league undefeated. Everybody else had at least 2 wins, and that was Tennessee. So,
and that's kind of what, my thought process behind this whole thing is I would agree, even though the SEC in the last, 15 years has had 5 different teams win a national championship: Auburn, LSU, Florida, Alabama, and Georgia since 2007.
Sounds right.
So that to me is proof that in any given year, any team in the SEC can be a power. I mean, LSU came out of nowhere in 19. Nobody expected them to be what they were. Tennessee came out of nowhere this past year. They're 1 game away from being in the college football playoff. And to me, this year just proves that the SEC was actually better than it's been in a while, because it kind of has been top heavy. Mm-hmm. 2 or 3 teams. This year, there were 5 teams that could beat just about anybody in any other conference outside of, 1 or 2. But you can't tell me that Tennessee, LSU, and Alabama wouldn't have won the Pac-12, Big 12, and maybe even the ACC. Any of them.
And to take that a step further, I mean, Tennessee, LSU, Alabama on a neutral field against Ohio State or Michigan or TCU.
Probably a pick 'em.
Yeah.
It's probably a pick 'em.
So.
And that's why, I'm not going to get into these bowl. You lost the Birmingham Bowl. Who cares? I mean, and that's one reason that I wish that, for one, that some of these group of 5 teams, Texas, San Antonio, and Troy, should not have been playing each other. There's no reason that those 2 teams shouldn't have been playing,
Power 5,
8-4, 7-5 Power 5 teams.
Mm-hmm.
That should be where they get their chance. And what that does for the expansion of the playoff is give them credibility once you start putting them into the playoff.
But that's the power structure that's not going to allow those matchups to take place, because everybody says, well, UTSA and Florida, well, that's a blowout. Nobody wants to watch that, blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of people want to watch that because they want to see Texas San Antonio line up against a Power 5 and see what happens.
And let's just see. Let's put
And
it
maybe
together.
it is a blowout, but let's run it out there, because I mean, obviously Oregon State and Florida worked out well for you.
Because Boise State exists.
Yeah.
I mean, Central Florida.
Fresno
exists.
State exists as well.
Utah, when they beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, was a group of 5 team.
Yeah.
I mean, it can happen. It does happen. And I want to see that, especially again with the expansion of the playoff. I think that's a good thing. I think the expansion of the playoff is going to show us a little bit more, but I also think that strength of conference is going to play a massive part, because you're telling me that Penn State was the 8th best team in the country this year? I don't know. I don't know that. But the Big Ten has a reputation of being the second best or second best, depending on who you ask, conference in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got 2 good teams, 2.5. I think Penn State's a good team. I don't think they're the 8th best team in the country, but I think they're good. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Oh, no doubt.
How the dynamic has changed of bowl games.
Well, what happens though is that perception is out there that, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and it just kind of feeds off of itself.
And that's fine. Look, I can't blame Penn State. Penn State they couldn't have predicted the Brian Harsin era of Auburn when they put those games on the schedule. They just couldn't have predicted that. Okay, I get that. I'm not mad at them.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating as a football fan that bowl season was kind of a big deal, because you could line up against another Power 5 conference and let's find out who the best team was.
Right.
And when the BCS started, it kind of got screwy mode, because it ended up you would have SEC number 5 against Big Ten number 3 in the Outback Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And
then Big Ten would, win that game, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you see what they did against an SEC team. Well, yeah, but
it wasn't exactly equal.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's it. That's kind of my point. And I still wish it were that way though, over what it is now, because it used to be a way. And I'm not arguing against opt-outs. I'm just saying that at this point, the way that it sits is we have to stop using the bowl season as a metric.
You can't rely on it to the degree that you could.
Correct.
Yeah.
We have a few minutes before Chip Walters joins us, Mo. I want to talk a little bit about the Braves. Now that Dansby's gone, Von Grissom seems to be the likely answer at shortstop.
Tell me why that's bad.
It's not. I think I'm really excited. One, I think that the lack of the shift is going to help, because he's not going to have to worry about, just play the position like you've always played it. They outlawed the shift in the minor leagues a couple years ago, and he's never had to play shortstop in the shift. So just play the position, work with Ron Washington. I'm more concerned about Austin Riley than I am Von Grissom. I've told you that. I'm hoping that Austin's work over the last couple of years with Wash will make him a viable third baseman defensively. I think he is. We're going to find out though.
Well, I mean, I've never thought Riley was a bad option at third base. I guess there are those, and I guess this is where you fall in, maybe are concerned with his range or lack thereof.
That's it.
But I feel like what Austin Riley gets to, he does a better than average job with, to be honest. And I've not noticed I've not really noticed his range to be limited, but I've never seen him really play alongside anybody other than Dansby, who does get to a lot. So, I don't know. I'm a little befuddled by how everybody feels like this is going to have an adverse effect on Austin. We don't know. And how Grissom can't play shortstop. We've not seen him. We don't know. So I don't know how these narratives get out and what they're based on.
Well, we have seen Austin play without Dansby, and he wasn't a great fielder at the minor league level. But again, he's been with Ron Washington for 3 years. And Ron Washington can perform miracles. I just want y'all to know. The man is a miracle performer. Period. He's great at that. I mean, I think he's a great manager, but he's exceptionally great at creating good infielders.
I think if he doesn't have the opportunity to be a manager, then I want him doing what he's doing for the Atlanta Braves. Now, if ever comes the time where he gets the opportunity to pursue managing again and somebody gives him that opportunity, then fantastic. Love to see it. But until then, keep doing what you're doing.
Hashtag for the A.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, I know Chip is waiting, and I don't want to keep him waiting too long, but the Braves signed a random outfielder, Jordan Luplow, to a 1-year contract. Is he the next Adam Duvall or the next Alex Dickerson, Mo?
Oh God.
You forgot Alex Dickerson existed, didn't you?
I didn't forget, but I was trying.
You didn't have to bring him up.
Exactly. I could have done without that all day. Yeah, I don't know that he's necessarily going to be Adam Duvall, but I certainly hope he's not going to be Alex Dickerson. I would take something in the middle, closer to Duvall. If we can't get Duvall, I mean, has he signed?
No, he hasn't, but you've got Rosario and Ozuna. And apparently Luplow has a pretty strong arm and is is someone who can spell Acuna and right when necessary. So Acuna doesn't have to play 162.
Well, yeah, and he can't play 162. He doesn't need to play 162, and
nobody does. Thank God. Hopefully we're out of that mentality. Hopefully.
Thanks for stealing my thunder there. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully that goes to Chicago. Now
keep it there. Y'all can have it,
because I mean, and we talked about it last year. I think over a long season, folks get tired. And you would think that a manager would manage with that in mind. Sometimes you got to protect players from themselves.
There's no doubt there. I will certainly not disagree with you. Anyway, we'll talk more Braves as the offseason continues and much, much more. But we have Chip Walters coming your way in just a moment to talk a little Middle Tennessee State, as the Blue Raiders are in Hawaii. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones and Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We are back on this Tuesday edition, Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 stocking stuffers coming your way here in just a moment. And I've got the first pick in the draft due to my 0 vote getting last week. So there's that.
I respect that you didn't vote for yourself.
I did not. There you go. That just proves I didn't vote for myself. But looking forward to stocking stuffers should be a lot of fun. But now we go to the voice of the Blue Raiders, Chip Walters, who joins us now as he is hanging out in Murfreesboro, getting ready, though, to make his way to Hawaii here soon.
Yes, indeed. That'll be Thursday morning. Myself, Dwayne Hickey, and our astute producer engineer JP Plant will be.
You're taking that guy?
That's right. We'll be heading out on a United flight, so y'all can track us on FlightAware. It leaves at 8:00 going through Denver.
We won't tweet about it though.
No.
That'll get us banned.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Don't tweet about people's apparently
live locations or whatever. Yeah, we can't do that.
Oh man, I got you. Hey, well, I was gonna mention real quick. Stocking stuffers in the Walters household growing up tended to be afterthoughts. It ended up being maybe a pair of socks. Sometimes, if mom had been busy, okay, here's that extra stick of deodorant.
Did you get oranges?
Oranges. I'm old enough to have gotten oranges at Christmas time. And a lot of those came from my grandmothers. So yes, indeed, it's a thing.
So Chip, talk to me. You guys are flying out Thursday. You're flying back after the game on Saturday.
Correct.
Man, and the time difference is 6 hours. Is that right? Four. Yep. That's manageable, I guess. I mean.
The way it worked out. I think Dwayne calculated we're gonna be on the ground for 54 hours. I think if all of our flights work out their correct time, but we'll be there. We'll there to do a job, and we'll. I know JP and Dwayne are planning a full day of activity on Friday the 23rd, and I'm going to do some prep work. Let them go and enjoy going. I know they're both trying to get tickets right now to go to the Arizona Memorial on Friday, and I know the team is going out there one day this week. They arrived last night and had both coaches and a couple of players from each team had a press conference this morning. So the week is off and rolling, and I think the Blue Raiders are actually practicing as we speak at a local high school there in Honolulu.
I'm sure Brady Hoke has all sorts of nice things to say about Tennessee from the time that he spent here.
Well, You would need to be out there to stir the pot with that, but
Not me. I would never do that.
yeah, and so his time was limited for sure, and so
It was still
I
too
don't know.
long.
I think he's probably past that, and not in Tennessee, but living in San Diego is not a bad thing either when you're talking about weather.
No, it's not. It's not. Living in San Diego and being in Hawaii. I mean, I'm sure you guys are pretty excited to get away from what we've got and what's coming. Apparently,
well, the way it looks is it looks like we're going to beat the cold. We're going to get out of town just before it gets here. But I did receive an email yesterday from United Airlines saying, be aware, this is going on. Fortunately, is when we go through Denver, I checked the high on Thursday in Denver is 0. They're completely out of degrees out there. So, but no precip. So hopefully, and they're used to cold weather and that. So hopefully we can get our connection made there and get on out to Honolulu where it's about 80. So
no degrees given in Denver.
Degrees given whatsoever.
It's a dry cold, Mo.
It is that. It's still cold.
Whatever. Yeah. Chip, how are the Blue Raiders? I mean, obviously, no opt-outs, but I mean, from a health standpoint and that kind of thing, how close to 100% are they heading into this matchup with the Aztecs?
Well, you have two guys who have gone into the transfer portal, and Seth Falley, one of those, an offensive lineman, and the other is a young man who I had not been on the field. So, and he, so those are gone.
Hang on, Chip.
I know exactly what you're going to say. I don't get it. If you're going to do it,
don't you wait?
I would think so.
maybe going to Hawaii was no big deal to them.
Apparently, but health-wise, I'm not sure they're going to gain anybody back that's been out for like most of the year. But you will have when you look at your quarterback position, you're going to have two healthy guys there. At your running back position, you should have, Bracey, Peasant, maybe Joe Irvin. Don't know about him for sure. And at receiver, you should have everybody there. And they took about 10 days off after the last regular season game, and hopefully that allows those offensive linemen to be able to heal up their nicks and bruises, and knock on wood that the defense has been pretty healthy most of the year. And so it'll be an interesting matchup. You got two teams that had very similar seasons. Not only is their record identical, but kind of how they went about their year ended up being about the same. So should be a good matchup. Or I think San Diego State opened up a 3.5-point favorite. And I think it went up to about 6. So it looks like that, when you look at some of the different bowl previews written in particular by some of the betting sites, there's a lot of conversation about Middle's defense and its ability to get turnovers and really kind of boil the whole thing down, that neither offense is going to, will probably, be the exploding factor, but that Middle's defense, if they can get turnovers like they've been getting this year, that has been the key to their victory. And I can't disagree with them there, that I think that'll be a key factor in how the ball game goes.
Looking at CBSSports.com, San Diego State is a 7-point favorite in the Hawaii Bowl that kicks off at 7:00 here. So, should be fun.
Should be. And, both teams have been in this bowl before. San Diego State got a win over Cincinnati a few years ago, I think in 2015. Middle was there in 2016 and had to play the homestanding Warriors of Hawaii, and lost a shootout in that one, 52-35. So this will be the first matchup between the Aztecs and Blue Raiders. And if you had took a Mike Leach reference here, if you had a fight between an Aztec and
a Blue Raider
and a Blue Raider, who would win? So,
Ooh, that's a good question.
So don't know.
Well, that depends. I mean, if the Blue Raider is actually a
Greek mythological character who carried Zeus's thunderbolts, that's packing a lot of power right there.
That's a lot of heat. Yeah, and that's that's interesting. I mean, Aztecs are pretty feared as well, though. So
they're pretty feared, and they were well ahead of their time.
So
women's basketball today, Mo. Lady Raiders open conference play at Rice, and the
wiener.
It is in the books, 74-68 over a previously unbeaten Rice ball club.
Wow!
And
did not realize
that was at Rice at venerable Tudor Fieldhouse. It was an education day game for them.
That may be the greatest name in the history of all arenas.
Tudor, Tudor.
Not Tooter.
No, yeah, correct.
I thought you said Toodle.
No.
Like with an L.
Tutor, like the English,
like the tutors.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I thought you said Toodle, and I was like, that's awesome.
Well, not quite as awesome as you once previously.
Where's the mystery mouse Catool?
Well, there you go. Today, let's see. Ksenia Maleshka led the way, with a double-double, 22 points, 11 rebounds. Savannah Wheeler, the transfer from Marshall, 21 points on the day. Courtney Whitson became the 33rd member of the 1,000 point club, and she wears number 33.
Exactly.
By the way.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep, and 18 points, 7 rebounds for her. Alexis Whittington, back from an injury, had only 3 points today, but it was a 3-pointer that gave Middle the lead, and Middle trailed all from the beginning. Rice held a small lead the entire game until midway through the fourth quarter, and Alexis Whittington's 3 gave them the lead, and that they never relinquished and win it 74-68. So Middle is now 1-0 in conference play, with the bulk of the conference season beginning for everybody, men and women, on the 29th.
Okay. I would like to point
8-2 overall. Is that right, Chip?
Right now, Middle is 8-2. Yes.
Okay. All right.
They're trying to get to into March Madness now, Mo. They're not trying to wait.
Yeah, they're not trying to wait. They're trying to do it right now. Clearly, I mean, Whittington came back, I think, against Houston, and again, didn't have a big game offensively against the Cougars, but she's just kind of that glue kid, is she not, Chip?
She really is, and really hangs her hat on her ability to play defense and rebound the basketball, and do intangible things that coaches ask her to do. One of those kids that really knows how to assimilate the scout and get it into the game, and she is a wise older player who you really like to have one of those.
Well, and teams that she's on
do well,
tend to win a lot.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
I was going to look here and see on the PDF if they have her plus minus. The box score I'm looking at does not have the plus minus on it, but I would say that Alexa in her 18 minutes today would probably have a pretty good plus minus number.
I have a statistic that I would like to throw out there for men's basketball, Chip.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how many conferences finished with every team having a above 500 record?
It would be
in
one.
Out of conference play. That would be one. Conference USA.
That would be
how
Conference
about that?
USA. And I'm telling you, don't go to sleep on Conference USA this year. You look at the top of this league right now. FAU, they're 10-1, and at first I thought that was fool's gold, but they've continued to play well. North Texas 9-2, UAB 9-2, Charlotte 9-2. Middle and UTEP are both have 7 wins. Rice is 9-3, and Middle just throttled them in Murfreesboro. Western Kentucky, they're 8-2. This is going to be a really top-heavy league this year, and it's going to be a horse race.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Maybe not so much fun to be in.
That's right. I mean, and it's going to be a like in the way in the schedule is kind of jumbled up from what it had been. Like for instance, next week, Middle after playing Murray State tomorrow night to wrap up the regular the non-conference portion of the schedule, they'll get a couple of days to go home, come back, and they will travel to Charlotte for a game on the 29th, and then turn around and come right back home to play Western Kentucky on New Year's Eve afternoon. So that will not be easy at all. And like I said, you look at those two teams, and they've got, 17 wins between them right now? Something like that?
Yeah.
And right now in the league, Middle, UTEP, and FAU all have a win. Rice, Louisiana Tech, and FIU each have a loss. And the rest of the league, Charlotte, North Texas, UAB, Western, and UTSA have not played yet. So it's about to start happening.
Chip, as you are aware, I had the opportunity to come over to Murphy Center last Thursday for the 50-year celebration, and the tough loss to UTC. But that little snippet of the video that they showed after the game, Reflections Inside the Glass House. If you are an MTSU fan or an MTSU person of any sort, you need to find that on YouTube and take a look at it. That is really outstanding work by a lot of people on that piece, and
brings back a lot of memories. Everything from pulling your cards to get your classes to concerts to basketball events to, I mean, I had casting and fishing techniques under Dick LaLance in that building. So there's again, Mo's right. Just go to YouTube, look at the Blue Raider Athletics channel, and the full 45-minute version is there. A lot of interviews, a lot of great stories. That's a real nice piece and very well done. And a lot of people put a lot of time into that to make it happen. And I think the night was a success when you look at, you lose the basketball game, which that is part of it, of course, but the evening and the memories that were shared and folks who came back, it was a lot of fun.
Glad you guys had some fun.
By the way,
I'm glad I got to go. Yeah, that was good stuff.
Here's a little talking about basketball and games that have been played recently. 2 Saturdays ago, Middle goes to Belmont, wins in overtime. Okay. Last Thursday, Chattanooga comes to Middle and wins a 9-point game. Sunday, Belmont goes to Chattanooga.
And
the big kid for Chattanooga has 32 and 20, and Belmont wins in overtime. So those 3 schools kind of gives you a little microcosm on how good college basketball is in our state.
32 and 20?
32 and 2-0.
And they lost?
And they lost.
That's unfortunate.
That's tough. That's tough.
No question there. Chip, we appreciate it, man. Enjoy your trip.
I have 2 words for you guys. Mela Kalikimaka.
There you go.
And to you as well, sir. Thank you.
What you call me? Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, be back on Tuesday to talk about his trip to Hawaii and Christmas and all of those things. We appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
All right, we'll keep it here and get straight into Top 5 Tuesday, where we are talking stocking stuffers today. Top 5 brought to you by our friends at Mid-South 5 Fitness, Dallas Steel, and the great folks there. 2 great locations, one in Columbia, one in Franklin. Steel Athletes is their Instagram, no Twitter, steelathletes.com, and at Steel Athletes on Instagram. Go follow Thalis and those folks there. They greatly appreciate it. We start with me.
You start.
With the man himself.
And I'm going to go with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Oh, you're going specific.
Well, this one is particularly specific, but yes.
All right. Does that mean who
I
got?
guess you're next.
Justin, you're next.
Is that me? Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay, I got mine written down because I'm prepared.
There we go.
And I also have to give credit to my collab. I collabed with somebody on this one. Okay, is that okay? Is that allowed?
Sure, it's fine.
Sure. Okay, her name's Kaylin. She told me I had to shout her out. So
okay, what's up, Kaylin?
Lottery tickets is my number 1.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay,
Mo,
I had that on my list. I will scratch that off my list.
Thanks, Kaylin. I'm just kidding.
My number 1, and mine didn't come in a stocking, but they were a gift. But AirPods.
Ooh.
How you gonna use the gift I got you?
Hey,
you got him AirPods? That's such a nice gift.
Holy
there
crap,
was a story behind it, but yeah.
This guy.
I'm
gonna use my own gift against me.
You ever seen
It was
Four
great.
Christmases?
Thank you.
Wow.
Someone didn't read the $10 limit.
Wow.
No, clearly they did not. Chris, number 2.
Oh man, now I'm just angry. Hold on.
I'm just angry. I actually need a second.
I want to go with some barbecue sauce.
I love that. Going from AirPods, next thing Mo's going to put is a Rolls Royce.
It's got to fit in a stocking, dude.
It's got to fit in a stocking. No, that's a good one.
You're right. Yeah.
What's
and
your
there will be barbecue sauce in my stocking this year. Compliments of Acme, Justin.
Nice. That's true. I mean, I've already gifted out my sauces. My number 2 is gift cards.
Yep.
Anything monetary. It's not fun. It's not a sexy thing, but hey, it's practical.
It works. It absolutely works. My number 2 is event tickets.
Oh,
yep.
wow. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That was
games, concerts. Yeah,
that was close to mine.
Opera. Perhaps.
I'm gonna go with number 3. My favorite. This is just my favorite because it's the first CD I ever got was in a stocking. So I'm gonna go with a CD or a record.
And what you gonna play it on?
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think they make CDs anymore. I know they make
in the car. It's about the only place I know where I can get a CD player.
Oh, I got a six disc changer. It doesn't work anymore, and when I start up my car, it just goes for like 5 minutes straight. Good. So, my
third round.
Yes.
Third round for me is this is actually a personal one. Without any collab, I just love it whenever I get a good cologne in my stocking stuffer. A nice cologne.
Santa's way of telling you stink.
Absolutely. Because I mean, I only use it once a year, which is what it's made for.
Exactly.
My number 3 is socks.
Socks is a
dang it.
It's a classic.
You took that one off my list. All right, I'm gonna go with an Apple Watch band because I actually am getting one of those in my stocking this year.
And that's not cool.
Yeah, well, it's already on my. I'm just getting the 10 in the stocking.
You're already wearing the band.
The band is on my wrist. Yeah.
We still have a few more days for Santa to decide if you're a good or bad boy.
That's right. That's right. Number 4, Justin.
My number 4 is. So wait, real quick. I know we're running out of time here, but instead of cologne, can we put just smell good stuff? Because I feel like that would resonate with more of our audience there.
Cologne, perfume. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
So 4th round for me is candy.
Okay.
I can
allow it, even though you had peanut butter cups.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with just hard candies.
Okay.
He's getting hard candies, or Mike and Ike's, or Good and Plenty's, or something like that.
I deserve that.
Not the good stuff though.
I deserve
Mo, number 4.
My number 4 is gloves.
Oh,
and
that's
it sounds like they're going to be in order this weekend.
God, that's a good one, man. All right, my number 5, Whiskey Stones.
Whiskey Stones. Now that I am of age, my number 5 is Airplane Shots. Yeah, we're yeah. Yeah, you know.
That's a good one. That's a really good one, actually.
My number 5, and I kind of cribbed this one from a list that I came across, but at my advanced age, password logbook.
What is that?
It's a logbook that you jot down your passwords in for stuff.
No, that's practical AF.
Yes.
Love it. No,
that's genius.
Hey, I'm nothing if not practical. Hey, there it is.
Love it.
All right. Well, your votes. Your votes.
They matter.
Please vote for me.
Yeah. Get out there for me.
We're back tomorrow. Should be a great show. Always fun on Wednesdays, Wild and Wacky Wednesday. So come back with us tomorrow at 2:30. For Mo and Justin, I'm Chris Yow saying have a great day.